Stop for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not look away. Because what I am about to tell you could quietly change the way your body protects you tonight while you sleep. This is not about comfort. This is not about preference. This is about something far more serious than most people ever realize. I have sat across from people who believed they were doing everything right. They ate reasonably well. They took their medications. They tried to stay active. And yet, they still ended up facing something terrifying. A stroke, a heart attack, a sudden collapse that seemed to come out of nowhere. And when I asked them a simple question, one question that almost nobody ever thinks about, their answer was always the same. They had been sleeping in a way that was silently working against their body. No one had ever told them that after a certain age, something as simple as the position you sleep in could influence how your brain clears toxins, how your heart pumps blood, and how your body prevents dangerous clots. No one had ever told them that sleep position is not just about rest. It is about survival. So today, that changes. My name is Dr. Elena, and on this channel, we talk about the things your body starts whispering after 60. The signals that are easy to miss, but impossible to ignore once you understand them. If you are new here, welcome. And if you have been here before, you already know, we do not stay on the surface. We go deeper. We connect the dots that most people never even realize exist, because your body is not random. It follows patterns. It follows rules. And once you understand those rules, everything changes. Now let us talk about sleep. Not the kind of advice you hear everywhere. Not the just get 8 hours or drink something warm before bed type of conversation. We're going to talk about what actually happens inside your body when you lie down at night. Because after 60, your body does not behave the same way it used to. Your blood vessels are not as flexible. Your circulation is not as fast. Your brain processes waste differently. Your heart works harder to maintain balance. And here is the part most people never realize. The direction your body faces while all of this is happening changes everything. Let me start with something that surprises even highly educated people when they first hear it. Your brain has its own cleaning system. Not metaphorically, literally. While you sleep, your brain activates a network that clears out waste products, toxins, and harmful proteins that build up during the day. This system works almost like a night shift cleaning crew. Quiet, efficient, invisible. But only if you allow it to work properly. And here is where it gets interesting. This system does not function equally in every sleep position. Some positions help it, others slow it down. And over time, that difference matters more than you think. Studies have shown that when you sleep on your side, your brain is significantly more efficient at removing waste compared to when you sleep on your back or your stomach. Think about that for a second. Every single night, your brain is either cleaning itself efficiently or leaving behind residue, night after night, year after year. And those leftover toxins, they do not just disappear. They accumulate. They contribute to inflammation. They affect how your brain communicates. They are linked to cognitive decline and long-term neurological problems. So this is not a small detail. This is a long-term investment in how your brain ages. But it goes even deeper than that. Because your brain does not exist in isolation, everything is connected. And the way your brain clears waste is directly linked to how your blood flows. Now let us shift to something even more critical, your heart. After 60, your heart is still strong, but it is not the same as it was decades ago. It has worked continuously, without rest, for years. Your arteries may be slightly stiffer. Your blood pressure may be a little higher. Your circulation may not be as smooth as it once was. And this is where your sleep position becomes incredibly important. When you lie on your left side, something subtle but powerful happens. Your heart, which naturally sits slightly toward the left side of your chest, is placed in a position where it does not have to work as hard against gravity. Blood flow becomes more natural. The major vessels that carry blood to and from your heart are positioned in a way that supports circulation instead of resisting it. In simple terms, your heart gets a break. Not a complete rest, of course, but a meaningful reduction in effort. And when this happens every single night, the effect builds over time. Less strain, better circulation, more efficient function. Now imagine the opposite. Sleeping in a position that slightly restricts flow, that forces your heart to push harder, that creates subtle resistance night after night. You would not feel it immediately, but over years, it adds up. And that is exactly how many cardiovascular problems develop. Not suddenly, but gradually, quietly, unnoticed. Now I want you to think about something else. Blood clots. This is one of the biggest hidden risks after 60. Not because it happens constantly, but because when it does happen, it can be devastating. A clot that forms in the leg can travel to the lungs. A clot that forms in the wrong place can block blood flow to the brain. And the scariest part, sometimes there are no warning signs. But there is one factor that plays a major role in whether blood clots form or not. Movement. Or more specifically, circulation. Blood that moves stays healthy. Blood that sits still becomes dangerous. When you sleep in certain positions, especially flat on your back for long periods, or in positions that compress important veins, you can reduce the natural flow of blood returning to your heart. It does not stop completely, but it slows. And slow-moving blood is exactly what creates the conditions for clot formation. Now compare that to sleeping on your side, especially with your body slightly supported, your legs relaxed, your posture aligned. Blood flows more freely. There is less compression, less stagnation, less risk. It is not complicated, it is basic physiology, but it is something almost nobody talks about. And that is why it matters. Because the most dangerous risks are often the ones we never think about. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, I've always slept the same way. It feels natural. It feels comfortable. Why change now? And that is a fair question. But here is the truth. What felt natural at 30 is not always what your body needs at 60. Your body changes, your systems adapt, and your habits need to evolve with it. Because comfort is not always the same as safety, and sometimes the smallest changes create the biggest protection. In the next part, I am going to show you something that shocks almost everyone when they hear it. The hidden danger of sleeping on your back, especially if you think you are getting a full night of rest. And why something that feels completely harmless could actually be putting stress on your heart every single night without you realizing it. Now let me tell you something that surprises almost everyone. There is a sleep position that millions of people believe is completely safe, even ideal. It feels neutral. It feels balanced. It even looks correct. And yet, after 60, it can quietly become one of the most dangerous habits you repeat every single night. I'm talking about sleeping on your back. I know, this might be how you have slept your entire life. Maybe it feels comfortable. Maybe it helps your spine. Maybe you wake up thinking you slept well. But what your body experiences during those hours can tell a very different story. Because when you lie flat on your back, gravity does something very specific. It pulls everything backward. Your tongue, the soft tissues in your throat, the structures that keep your airway open. And for many people, especially after 60, this creates a narrowing of the airway, sometimes partial, sometimes complete. And when that happens, your breathing is interrupted. Not once, not twice, but sometimes dozens, even hundreds of times in a single night. This condition has a name, sleep apnea. And here is what makes it so dangerous. Most people who have it do not know they have it. They go to bed, they fall asleep, they wake up. They assume everything is fine. But during the night, their body is struggling. Every time the airway closes, oxygen levels drop. The brain senses danger, and it triggers a stress response to wake the body just enough to breathe again. You may not remember it, but your body feels it, again and again, all night long. Now think about what that does to your heart. Instead of resting, your heart is being pushed. Instead of calm, your body is in a cycle of stress. Blood pressure rises. Adrenaline spikes, inflammation increases, and over time, this repeated strain begins to damage the cardiovascular system. This is not speculation. The connection between sleep apnea and heart disease is one of the strongest relationships in medical science. People with untreated sleep apnea have a significantly higher risk of stroke, a higher risk of heart attack, a higher risk of irregular heart rhythms that can become life-threatening. And one of the biggest triggers of sleep apnea is sleeping on your back. because that position allows gravity to collapse the airway more easily. Now compare that to sleeping on your side. The airway stays more open. Breathing becomes more stable. Oxygen levels remain more consistent. The heart is not constantly being jolted awake by stress signals. This is why one of the first recommendations sleep specialists give is to change sleep position. Not medication, not complicated treatment. Just change the way you lie down. Let me share something with you. I once worked with a woman in her late 60s. Let us call her Maria. She came in exhausted, not just tired, but deeply drained. She told me she would sleep for 8 hours and still wake up feeling like she had not rested at all. She had headaches in the morning. Her blood pressure was slowly increasing. And her husband mentioned something she had never paid attention to before. She snored loudly, and sometimes it sounded like she stopped breathing. We ran a sleep study, and the results were clear. Moderate sleep apnea. Now here is the part that matters. Maria had slept on her back her entire life. It was her normal, her habit, her comfort. So instead of jumping straight to machines or complex treatments, we started with something simple. We changed her sleep position. We helped her transition to sleeping on her side, using support pillows to make it natural and sustainable. The first few nights were uncomfortable. The first week was frustrating. But then something started to change. Her husband noticed the snoring was decreasing. She started waking up feeling slightly more refreshed. Her morning headaches began to fade. And over the next few months, something remarkable happened. Her blood pressure improved. Her energy returned. She felt like herself again. Nothing dramatic, no expensive intervention, just a simple shift in how her body rested at night. Now, I am not telling you this as a miracle story. Sleep position is not a cure for everything, but it is one of the most powerful adjustments you can make, without cost, without risk, and without side effects. And yet, almost no one is taught this. Now let us talk about another position that often gets overlooked, but can create its own set of problems. Sleeping on your stomach. I will be very direct here. If you are over 60, this is the position you should seriously consider leaving behind. Because while it may feel comfortable in the moment, it creates multiple points of strain throughout your body. First, your chest. When you lie on your stomach, your body weight presses down on your lungs. Breathing becomes slightly restricted, not enough to feel alarming, but enough to reduce efficiency over time. Second, your neck. In order to breathe, your head has to turn to one side, and it stays there for hours. This creates a constant twist in your cervical spine. Over time, this can lead to stiffness, nerve compression, tingling in the arms, and even headaches. But there is something even more concerning: blood flow. When your neck is rotated for long periods, it can affect the arteries that supply blood to the back of your brain. These arteries are delicate. They are essential. And while one night of stomach sleeping will not cause harm, years of repeated strain can contribute to long-term issues. There is also pressure on the abdomen. Important blood vessels in that area can become compressed. Circulation is not as smooth. And again, we return to the same principle. When blood flow is restricted, risk increases. Now, I want to pause for a moment, because I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking, I do not control how I sleep. And you are right. Once you are deeply asleep, your body moves on its own. You cannot consciously stay in one position all night. But here is what you can control: how you set up your sleep. Because your environment shapes your behavior, even when you are unconscious. And this is where small strategies make a big difference. The goal is not to force your body. The goal is to guide it, to make the healthier position the easiest position, the natural position. And in the next part, I am going to show you exactly how to do that. Simple methods, practical adjustments, techniques that have been used for years, but are rarely explained in a way that makes sense. Because knowing what to do is one thing, but making it stick, that is where real change happens. And there is one more piece of this puzzle that most people have never even heard of: a powerful system in your body that controls your heart rate, your stress levels, and your recovery during sleep. And believe it or not, your sleep position can influence it. Now, let us bring everything together. Because understanding the problem is one thing, but knowing how to actually change your habit, that is where your future health is decided. And here is the truth. You do not need to fight your body. You do not need to force yourself to stay in one position all night. What you need is to guide your body gently in the right direction, to make the healthier choice feel natural, effortless, almost automatic. Let me show you how. The first and most powerful tool is something incredibly simple: a body pillow. Not a small pillow, not something you casually place under your head, a long pillow that runs along the front of your body. When you lie on your side and hold that pillow, something important happens. Your upper arm has support. Your top leg has a place to rest. Your body feels stable, and that stability reduces the urge to roll forward onto your stomach or backward onto your back. It creates a natural barrier, not a forced restriction, but a gentle guidance. And when your spine stays aligned, your muscles relax more deeply. That alone improves sleep quality. Now let us go one step further: the space between your knees. This small detail is often ignored, but it makes a huge difference. When you sleep on your side without support between your knees, your top leg tends to fall forward. That twist pulls on your hips. It affects your lower back. And over time, it creates discomfort that pushes your body to shift positions. But when you place a pillow between your knees, your hips stay aligned. Your pelvis remains neutral. Your spine relaxes. And suddenly, side sleeping becomes sustainable, comfortable, something your body wants to maintain, not escape from. Now, let us talk about something that may sound unusual, but has been used for decades. A simple technique, sometimes called the back prevention method. You place a small object behind your back, something firm enough to be noticeable. It could be a rolled towel, a small pillow, or even something slightly uncomfortable. Not painful, just enough to remind your body. So when you roll onto your back during sleep, your body instinctively moves away from that pressure and returns to your side. You are not waking yourself up. You are simply redirecting your natural movement. Over time, your body adapts. It learns. And eventually, side sleeping becomes your default, without effort, without thinking. Now let us talk about your main pillow. This is where many people make a mistake. When you sleep on your side, the space between your shoulder and your head is larger than when you lie on your back. If your pillow is too flat, your head tilts downward, your neck bends, and that creates strain. But when your pillow is thick enough to fill that space, your neck stays straight, aligned, relaxed. This is not just about comfort. This is about maintaining proper blood flow and reducing tension in the muscles that surround your spine. A small adjustment, but a powerful one. Now, there is one more piece that I want you to understand, something that connects your brain, your heart, and your entire body. A system that works quietly in the background but controls how well you recover during sleep. It is called the vagus nerve. This nerve runs from your brain all the way down through your body. It regulates your relaxation response, your heart rate, your blood pressure, your ability to move from stress into deep rest. And here is something fascinating. Your sleep position can influence how effectively this system works. When you sleep on your left side, your body may enter a deeper state of relaxation. Your heart rhythm becomes more stable. Your nervous system shifts more fully into what we call a rest and recovery mode. This is the state where healing happens, where inflammation decreases, where your body repairs itself. Now imagine experiencing that every single night, consistently, quietly, without effort. That is the power of alignment. But I also want to be very clear about something important. If you have a specific medical condition, especially related to your heart, you should always follow the advice of your doctor, because every body is different. Every history is unique. What we are talking about here is general guidance, a foundation, a starting point for most people over 60 who want to support their health in a simple but meaningful way. Now let us zoom out for a moment. Because sleep position is just one piece of a much larger picture, but it is a piece that repeats every single night, and that is what makes it powerful. Because your body does not respond to what you do once, it responds to what you do consistently, night after night, year after year. We know that poor sleep increases the risk of high blood pressure. We know it affects blood sugar. We know it contributes to weight gain. We know it increases the likelihood of stroke. And we also know that improving sleep, even slightly, can reverse some of those risks. So when you improve your sleep position, you are not just adjusting how you lie down. You are supporting your heart, protecting your brain, reducing stress on your body, and investing in your future. Now, I want to leave you with something simple, something you can do tonight. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. When you lie down, turn gently onto your left side. Place a pillow between your knees. If you have a long pillow, hold it in front of you. Let your body settle. If you wake up later and you have shifted, that is okay. Do not judge it. Just gently return to your side. That alone is progress. And if you notice signs like loud snoring, waking up tired, morning headaches, or feeling like your sleep is never truly restful, please take that seriously. Talk to a doctor, because sleep apnea is common. It is often silent, but it is treatable. And recognizing it early can change everything. If this message helped you, share it with someone you care about, because most people have never heard this. And sometimes, the simplest knowledge is the one that saves a life. Take care of your body. Respect the small habits, because they are never just small. They are the foundation of everything that comes next. And you deserve many more years of strength, clarity, and life.